10 bands. Not solo artists. Not one-hit wonders. Not groups that had a moment and disappeared. The 10 greatest R&B and soul bands ever assembled, the ones whose names still carry weight, whose catalogues still hold up on any speaker in any room in any decade, and whose legacy has proven impossible to replace or replicate. What separates a great R&B band from everything else isn't just talent. It's identity. The greatest groups in this genre built a sound so specific that the moment the first note hit, you knew exactly who it was before a single word was sung. They built harmonies that felt like architecture, grooves that felt like gravity, ballads that became the default language for things people didn't know how to say themselves. This countdown is built around the 10 bands that did all of that at the highest level, groups that didn't just sell records, but permanently shaped what R&B and soul music is and what it means to the people who grew up with it. Stick around, because one band on this list almost didn't survive long enough to record the song that became their biggest anthem. Another was told by industry insiders they would never cross over to mainstream America, and then went on to outsell almost everyone. Both are on this countdown. 10 bands. Let's bring them back. 10. Kool and the Gang. Before the hits, before the sold-out arenas, before Celebration became the default soundtrack of every championship parade and New Year's countdown in America, Kool and the Gang were a jazz-funk instrumental outfit playing clubs where the audience was too cool to dance. Serious musicians making serious music that most radio programmers didn't know what to do with. You mean so much to me. I'll do it. The shift came in 1979 when vocalist James J.T. Taylor joined the group. Suddenly that sophisticated instrumental foundation had a voice warm enough for radio and soulful enough for the people who needed more than just a groove. They needed to feel something. Celebration became the most universally played party record in American music history. It was the first song played on the radio after the Iran hostage crisis ended. It has soundtracked more championship celebrations, more weddings, more New Year's countdowns than almost any other record ever made. A song that was supposed to be a funk experiment became the definition of collective joy. Cherish is the one that surprises people, a ballad so tender and so unhurried that it feels like it came from a completely different band than the one that made Jungle Boogie. That range is exactly what made Kool and the Gang more than a one-era act. They could make a room move and make a room go quiet. Sometimes on the same night. Did you grow up hearing Celebration at every family gathering like it was required by law? Most people did. Drop that in the comments. If the kind of music history we're covering tonight, the real stories, the human moments behind the records, is something that matters to you, this channel goes this deep every single week. The subscribe button is right there. And everything here is built for people who take this music seriously. From a band that made joy their signature, we moved to one that made truth their foundation. 9. The O'Joris. Philadelphia in the early 1970s had a specific sound. Producers Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff were building something at Philadelphia International Records that would change American music. Lush orchestral arrangements wrapped around lyrics that didn't flinch from real life. Love, betrayal, struggle, survival. And no group delivered that sound with more conviction than the Commodores. You got what I want. Eddie Leavitt's voice was the center of gravity. A tenor that could move from a whisper to a roar inside a single bar, that carried the kind of weight that made listeners feel like the song was being sung specifically to them, not at them. All because you're my kind. But for them, backstabbers arrived like a warning delivered by someone who had been hurt badly enough to know exactly what to say. Baby girl, you know that I like what you like. Not a slow jam, not a romantic ballad. A full orchestral reckoning the sound of someone finally naming what had been done to them. Don't be strong, make it good. It described something so specific and so universal at the same time that people heard it and immediately thought of someone in their own life. We were made For the Love of Money gave the world one of the most recognizable bass lines ever recorded, 4 notes that have appeared in television, film, and advertising for 50 years and still land the same way every time they hit. The Commodores built a catalog that works on a dance floor, in a quiet room, at a cookout, and in a car at midnight. That range is rarer than it sounds, and it's why they belong on this list. Backstabbers is one of those songs people hear and immediately think of someone specific, not a stranger, but someone they actually knew. If that record ever made you think of a person the moment it came on, you already know the story it was telling. Drop that in the comments. Those are the ones that start real conversations. Forever mine. That Philadelphia sophistication gives way next to a band whose sound came from somewhere rawer, louder, and more deliberately confrontational. 8. Sly and the Family Stone. No group on this countdown was more radical, not just musically, but in what they represented the moment they walked on stage. Sly and the Family Stone was racially integrated and mixed gender in an era when that alone was a political statement before a single note was played. Their Woodstock set is still cited as one of the defining performances of that entire festival. Sly Stone took the stage at dawn and woke up hundreds of thousands of people with a groove so infectious and an energy so uncontainable that the crowd responded to something they hadn't heard before and couldn't fully name. Family Affair is the one that cuts deepest, a slow, hypnotic record about the specific kind of love and dysfunction that only exists within a family. It didn't try to resolve what it described. It just sat inside the truth of it, which is exactly what made it last. The influence this group had on what came after them cannot be overstated. Prince, Parliament Funkadelic, D'Angelo, Bruno Mars. The DNA runs directly through every one of them. You cannot understand modern R&B without understanding Sly and the Family Stone first. From a band that broke every category, we move to one that perfected one of the most specific and beloved sounds in soul history. 7. The Commodores. The Commodores came out of Tuskegee, Alabama, 6 young men who started playing together as college students and built themselves into one of the tightest live bands on the Motown roster. What made them remarkable wasn't just that they could do funk and ballads equally well. It was that they could do both so well that each side of the catalog stands completely on its own. Brick House is one of the most sonically confident funk records ever made. From the moment that horn hit drops, the song knows exactly what it is and makes no apologies for it. 50 years later, it still fills dance floors the way it did in 1977, which is not something most records can claim. Then there's Lionel Richie sitting at the piano, writing 3 Times a Lady, a ballad so direct in its tenderness that it became the default record for men trying to say something they didn't have their own words for. Richie has said he wrote it after watching his parents dance at a family anniversary party. I'm easy like Sunday morning. And that origin story is audible in every note. When Richie eventually left for his solo career, the music industry assumed the Commodores were finished. They weren't finished. But that's a story for another countdown. Still to come, the band many consider the single greatest live act in the history of R&B. A group whose concerts became events that people still talk about decades later. We're getting there. From a band defined by its range, we move to one defined by something rarer: absolute, unconditional loyalty. 6. Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. Ask any serious R&B fan to name the most underrated group in the history of the genre. The answer, more often than not, is Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. No mainstream Grammy. Limited mainstream radio rotation. A profile that never matched the depth of devotion they generated from their audience. And yet for over 4 decades Maze has filled arenas, sold out festivals, and produced a catalogue so beloved by its core audience that the phrase underrated barely covers it. Frankie Beverly made a deliberate choice early on to build the audience through live performance rather than industry politics. The group toured relentlessly, played every city until they owned it, and built a fan base that was less like a listening audience and more like a community. Before I Let Go is the song, not just for Maze, for an entire culture. It has been played at black family reunions, cookouts, and celebrations across the United States for over 40 years without a single moment of feeling dated or tired. When Beyoncé covered it in 2019 for her Homecoming album, an entirely new generation went searching for the original and found a catalogue that had been waiting patiently for them the whole time. If you grew up hearing Before I Let Go every single summer and thought it was just background music, you now know it was one of the most durable records ever made. Comment below what event you first remember hearing it at. If this countdown is reminding you of records and bands that deserve more attention than they get, share this video with someone who grew up on this music. Not for the numbers. Just because some stories are worth passing on. **** From a band built on loyalty, we move to one built on harmony so pure it broke records that had stood for decades. 5. Boyz II Men. For teenagers from Philadelphia's Philadelphia High School for Creative and Performing Arts, who taught themselves to harmonize by listening to New Edition tapes in the hallways. That origin story, unremarkable on the surface, produced one of the best-selling music groups in American history. The label almost passed on them. At a music conference in 1989, they convinced Michael Bivins of New Edition to listen to them, a meeting that led directly to their first record deal.
I'm not out to go out and cheat all night.
Without that one unrehearsed hallway conversation, Boyz II Men may never have happened. This was the record that introduced them to the world, a song about endings, about the specific grief of losing something you weren't ready to lose. It became the graduation song for an entire generation. It played at funerals. It played at the last day of anything that mattered. End of the Road spent 13 consecutive weeks at #1, breaking a chart record that had stood since Elvis Presley. I'll Make Love to You broke that record. One Sweet Day with Mariah Carey broke it again. 3 times in 3 years. A commercial run that has never been replicated in R&B before or since. Was End of the Road the soundtrack to a breakup you still remember? A lot of people have that answer. Drop it in the comments. From a group whose harmonies defined a generation, we move to one whose catalogue defined 6 decades. 4. The Isley Brothers. 60 years. That is how long the Isley Brothers have been making music. Not 60 years with the same hit sound.
I was gonna do that, but it slipped my mind, I'm sorry, but
Riding nostalgia, 60 years of genuine reinvention. Each era of the catalogue as strong as the one before it.
And they were both at home. Tell me, what's her name?
Sharon.
They started in the gospel circuit, moved to rock and roll, crossed into soul.
Shaniqua, Shaquan and Robin.
Well, if y'all
Then in the 1970s, when most groups their age were fading, they hired guitarist Ernie Isley, Ron's younger brother, and pivoted into a funk direction that put them in direct conversation with the most exciting music of the decade.
time it in,
1 or 2.
what time it in? You add it, call a cab.
Fight the Power arrived in 1975 as one of the most direct cultural statements in funk, a record that knew exactly what it was saying and set it over a groove so tight that the message landed in the body before it reached the mind.
But baby, what's I got to do? What you coming in at 2?
Telling
Then came the Quiet Storm era, and this is where the catalogue deepened into something almost impossibly warm.
before you get all upset, here's the truth.
Between the Sheets became one of the most sampled songs in hip-hop history. Biggie built Big Poppa around it, which introduced the Isley Brothers to a generation that had never heard the original.
Go upstairs, pack your bag.
That's a 60-year arc ending with a new audience discovering what the old audience already knew.
How the is she your friend? If you don't know that she got kids.
Ron Isley's voice got better with age. Most voices don't do that.
Please, one more chance, let me tell you where I've been.
That alone earns them this spot. From 6 decades of reinvention, we enter the final 3, the bands whose names need no introduction and whose legacy needs no defense. 3. The Four Tops. 4 Men. Same 4 men. From 1953 until Lawrence Payton's passing in 1997, over 40 years, the original lineup of the Four Tops never changed. Not one personnel replacement. Not one departure for a solo career. Not one creative falling out that reshuffled the group. In an industry built on ego, ambition, and the constant pull of individual stardom, that loyalty is almost impossible to explain. Levi Stubbs could have gone solo. He chose to stay. The group could have replaced him after his stroke in 1995. They chose not to perform without him. This was their commercial breakthrough, a Motown hit built on a groove so infectious that it still sounds new. But it was the next record that revealed what Levi Stubbs' voice was truly capable of. The urgency in Stubbs' delivery on Reach Out I'll Be There is the sound of a voice fully committed to a lyric, not performing devotion, but embodying it. The song became the defining statement of unconditional love in the Motown catalog, the record that made people call someone they hadn't spoken to in months. Bernadette turned that same voice towards something closer to desperation, a performance so emotionally raw that even in a 3-minute pop song, it feels like witnessing something private. 40 years. Same 4 voices. That's the story of the 4 Tops, and it's a story no other group on this list can tell. That kind of loyalty is almost impossible to find in any industry. Which band on this entire list do you think had the strongest brotherhood, the deepest bond between the members? Drop your answer in the comments. That debate is worth having. From 4 decades of unbroken loyalty, we arrive at the final 2, the most celebrated, most studied, and most enduring bands in R&B history. 2. The Temptations. 5 voices arranged like an orchestra, each one with its own character, its own weight, its own place in the sound. The Temptations didn't just sing together. They built something architectural. A harmony structure so precise and so emotionally varied that it could carry any song, any era, any mood, and make it feel inevitable. The early recordings with David Ruffin on lead gave the group their commercial foundation. My Girl is one of the most universally recognized songs in American music. The opening guitar figure alone is enough. Ain't Too Proud to Beg is its emotional opposite. Not warmth and certainty, but vulnerability and desperation. 2 different emotional worlds from the same group in the same 2-year window. Then Norman Whitfield took over production and pushed the group into psychedelic soul, a direction nobody saw coming. Copper Was a Rolling Stone is 7 minutes of psychedelic soul that won 2 Grammy Awards and sounded like nothing else on radio in 1972. It's the record that proved the Temptations weren't just a Motown pop group, they were a serious artistic force capable of going wherever the music needed to go.
On a cloudy day.
Do you still know every word to My Girl? Most people who grew up in this music do. And they learned it before they even knew they were learning it. From the most consistent group in Motown history, we arrive at number 1, the band that every artist on this countdown has named as an influence. The group with no ceiling. 1. Earth, Wind and Fire. 23 Grammy nominations. 6 wins. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. A live show so technically ambitious, so visually spectacular, and so musically extraordinary that it set the standard for what a large-scale R&B performance was supposed to look and feel like for decades. Maurice White founded Earth, Wind and Fire in Chicago in 1969 with a vision nobody in the music industry had seen before, a band that would blend jazz, funk, soul, gospel, R&B, Latin percussion, and African rhythms into a single unified sound, presented with a visual identity rooted in Egyptian mythology and Afrocentric cosmic imagery. It was ambitious to the point of being risky. And it worked completely. Shining Star became the first #1 R&B and pop single in the group's history, a record so musically dense and so joyfully performed that it announced Earth, Wind and Fire as something the industry had no precedent for. September has achieved something that almost no other record in American music has managed, a song so universally associated with pure joy that it transcends genre, generation, and geography. It plays at events attended by people who weren't alive when it was recorded. It produces the same response every time. Movement, smile, the specific feeling of being completely present in the moment and wanting it to last. After the Love Has Gone is its emotional mirror, a ballad so tender and so perfectly constructed that it still sounds like it was written with a specific moment in. Philip Bailey's falsetto, Maurice White's vision, Verdine White's bass, a horn section that made every arrangement 1970s still describe as the greatest concert experience of their lives. That is what #1 looks like. Not just the most successful, the most complete. 10 bands. Between them, more than 300 years of combined recording history, hundreds of records, dozens of Grammy Awards, and a catalogue that represents some of the most important music ever made in America. What made every group on this countdown unforgettable wasn't just the talent. It was the commitment to each other, to the music, to the audience that showed up year after year, trusting them. In every generation and gives them the exact same thing it gave the first people who heard it. These bands didn't just Which band on this list means the most to you, and which song of theirs do you still go back to? Drop it in the comments. Not just the names, the song, the memory. Those are always the ones worth reading. Every week on this channel we go this deep into the music that actually shaped people's lives, the real stories, the human moments, the records that never stopped meaning something. If that's the kind of content you want waiting for you, subscribe.